Okay, everyone, welcome to One Nation of Sports Locker Magazine Extra. And this is your host, Kirk DeMars. And on the program tonight, we've got a third place finisher in the state softball championships right here in mid Missouri. I can't wait till you get to meet this young lady. She's full of energy. And instead of being out getting candy tonight, she's hanging out with us right here on One Nation. So glad to have her on the program. As you can tell, or maybe as you will be able to see shortly, Jay has still not joined me yet. He is out with our grandkids, walking them around the neighborhood. And I think he's dressed up as one of the Duck Dynasty people. You know, he has the beard to already go with it, so he just fits right in. So, anyway, we'll be looking forward to having him back on pretty soon. But tonight, I want to talk to you about somebody special, and I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick. She was just in the September issue of Sports Locker magazine, and it's Josie Stewart from Russellville High School right here in mid Missouri. Russellville Indians, what a weekend they had. I'm going to let Josie tell you a little bit more about that, but one of the things I wanted to point out real quick about her is that she has achieved all conference, all district, and all state second team. Those are some huge accomplishments right there. Plus, we know there's going to be a whole bunch more pouring in as the close of the softball season just happened. She's also made academic all state 2 seasons in a row, and I'm sure she's going to be hitting that third one. This is a talented young lady, and we've got a whole bunch to talk to her about. So I'm excited to bring Josie on. So I'm going to do that right now. Hi, Josie. How are you doing?
Hi.
Welcome.
Good.
Welcome, welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
for
for
joining
having
us tonight.
me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us tonight. You know, I know you're probably, do you have some candy around you? Because I'll feel bad if you don't have any candy around you or anything.
Yes, I do. I've already eaten
Okay.
quite a few Reese's.
Okay. All right. I feel better then. So that's good. Congratulations on your third place finish at the state championships.
Thank you.
Yeah, I bet that was pretty exciting, wasn't it?
It was. It was a great experience, great thing to go through with the team.
Okay. Well, why don't we talk a little bit about that? But first, just tell us little bit about your senior year in softball, kind of how everything went, and did it meet your expectations or did it exceed it?
I mean, being senior year, it kind of really sets in that that's gonna like this is it. There's a lot of lasts. I mean, but at the same time, you got to make the most of it. Leave everything out there. And I mean, we expected to go far. We really expected we were going to play as hard as we could. We weren't going to be outplayed, and just we're going to go as far as we possibly can, whatever we can do.
How special was the Final Four experience? Everything that happened as far as leading up to that, the school support, parents, teachers. You just let us have it. Did you guys have a parade, anything like that go on?
We did something like that. So our booster club and our moms and our families, they were really good. They made us these cute little goodie bags with a bunch of snacks and like breakfast foods in them, stuff like that. And then they had a car painting, so they brought window markers and painted on all their cars. And then on Thursday, right before we left, they painted all the bus windows. And then they had a big send off, and all the families came out and community members with posters and pom poms. And then as we were leaving at the end of the driveway, all the teachers came out and were waving and cheering. It was great.
Very cool. Now, when you got down to the Final Four, tell everybody where that was and just kind of how everything was set up and just kind of the atmosphere there.
So when we got there, it was at Killeen Sports Complex down in Springfield. And so I mean none of us had experienced it before, being only making it to districts and the district championship the last couple few years. But this year we made it through. And so when we got there, we didn't quite know what to expect. We know it was going to be fun, a little intense, but we handled it, and it's timing and everything. You can only be out there for so long on the practice field, and you have to be starting games on time. But it was fun. It was a great experience and a different atmosphere.
Did you have a lot of fans follow you down there?
Oh, yes. We had some people caravanning behind us, some that got there super early on Friday when we were still warming up, and posters and all. Our
That's great.
fan section was filled.
All right, so I just have to ask this question because in my family, we have a few individuals that are very loud and you can hear them over anybody else. Did you hear any of your family?
Oh, yes, all the time. It's gotten to a point where out on the field, that's their voices stick out. No matter
Uh-huh.
how loud it is, I'll pick theirs out and hear what they're saying.
That's great. I know that my daughter, again, I was talking to you before the program. I think her voice was a little strained from all the volleyball this weekend with my granddaughter. So my wife said you are just right in line with the Demars family. So there, that's it's good though. It's good to have people out there yelling and supporting for you. So
Yes, yes.
awesome. Uh, okay, so this being your senior year, and I mean you've had a lot of success on the ball field prior to this, but why don't you tell us a little bit about how special this year was? Also, let everybody know what position you play on the field or positions, and just how this year was so special for you.
Well, if senior year again, it's just there's no next time, and so I mean, we were going to make the most of it. And these seniors that I've been with these last 4 years, it's been a great experience. I couldn't have asked for better seniors to do it with, and they're all amazing girls. Yeah. So I played shortstop, and it was just and yeah,
So you're like a field general, right?
yes, that's what it is. You kind of have to be in charge out there.
All right. So what is it that you love about playing shortstop so much?
Just you're involved a lot, and you have to know what's going on. And I'm a little bit of a control freak, and that kind of fits that spot because you have to make sure everybody know what's going on and the whole team's on the same page, and you always have to be loud and talking, which I'm not off the field, but on the field, I'm a different person.
All right. What so describe yourself on the field. How's that? How are you different all of a sudden?
I'm usually pretty shy, pretty quiet. My teachers in class, I don't really say much. Like, I'm not going to be the one to raise my hand and say something. But on the field, I don't really shut up at all. I'm talking the entire time. I'm always talking to our pitcher. We'll just have silly conversations, keep the mood light, stuff like that.
Very good. Um, how has your teammates received that? Have they been are they lifted up and inspired, or they're like, "All right, Josie, that's enough."
Usually, they'll hop on with me and then it'll just amplify the mood and we'll get everybody going with it and we'll get loud and hyped up. So usually they take it pretty well.
Very good. Very good. Uh, Now let's get back a little bit to your family and talk about the support that you've received from them just all throughout growing up and up to today and just getting done with this tournament. How special has that been?
It's amazing. I'm so blessed to have the family that I do. They make as many events as they possibly can, whether it's band concerts or school events, softball games, stuff like that. And at every game, there's always going to be a grandparent or a parent. They make sure that someone's there watching. And my siblings, they always try to make as many as they can. They're busy with their own sports though, but I try to make as many of theirs as I can. And aunts and uncles, they've all been showing out and coming to watch. And they're super great. They'll do stuff like video my at bats so I can watch them after the game and see what I can do better next time.
Okay. That's a lot different than when I was growing up. We did not have that. Back then we would have had what you called film, and then you would have to go through and develop the film. No, well, actually, it was they had camcorders, I think, back then. So those are all dinosaur things. Um, why don't you tell us a little bit about your parents? What have you really learned from them, and what are some things that have been impactful for you from them?
A big thing from them was you got to work hard and you can't quit. I mean, it's going to be rough sometimes, but you just got to keep going. That's how life is. And I mean, they were my first coaches. My mom first with T-ball, and then my dad from Coach Pitch on up. And they're just super supportive. It's a lot of tough love, but they're always my biggest fans.
Tough love. Is there a moment that sticks out for you that was one of the most difficult things, but it helped you to be able to become a better player?
one time, it was last season or the season before, I was having a bad day, and I'd made an error or 2, and it was just rough, and I started crying. And I remember mom coming in the dugout in between the varsity and the JV game and handing me a Snickers and going, "Toughen up, you gotta get back out there, suck it up, buttercup."
Suck it up, Buttercup. All right.
Yep,
That
and it
is
worked, it did.
oh, good. Well, you did talk about in your article there was something that you had to overcome. Let's see. Let's go ahead and give the title to that real quick. But there was something that you had to overcome, and you did that. It's overcoming fear. Talk a little bit about that.
Mhm. So, my biggest thing, I'd really worry about what other people thought. So, like, if I was gonna dive after ball, if I looked silly or if I swung and missed, and that really kept me from being a good player. Because I mean, in softball as a game, you're gonna fail more than you succeed, and that's just how it goes. And to be great and as good as you can possibly be, you're gonna have to get over that. So that was a big thing for me. I've just the other in the third place game, I dove after 2 balls. I didn't get either of them, but that's what you have to do because you're out there and you have to have your teammates' backs. It's the same thing with that bats. If you don't swing, you're never gonna hit the ball. You're gonna swing and look silly, but that's how it goes.
That's great advice. If you don't swing, you're not going to hit the ball. That in
Yep.
all of its simplicity, that pretty much sums it up, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Tell us real quick
Yes.
about tell us real quick about swinging the bat. Are you more of a hitter for average or power or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. I used to be quite a contact hitter, but I've changed my swing. We're going for a little bit more power now. But at the same time, I'll take contact balls and on base more than I will a home run with strikeouts.
I know probably a certain coach that is pleased with that.
Yes.
Coach Branson, he's awesome. We'll get into talking about him in a little bit. I do want to go back to talking a little bit about your siblings. Talk about your older brother and then your two younger sisters, if you would, and how uh, how they've blessed you and how you try to make an impact for them.
Yeah, so we get along super well, and we like to push each other to be the best we can be. You know, that good old civil sibling rivalry you've always got, and we always sometimes we'll drag each other out of the house to come play catch, or I'll hit a volleyball around with my sister, or I'll take Corey out and we'll do some tea work. And then Mason growing up, it was always, "Oh, let me be as good as Big Brother is." He's just a big role model, and he started off the shortstop, and so I'm like, "Maybe I can do that too." So I moved over there and followed in his footsteps.
How special has it been to have two younger sisters, pretty close in age? But how's that been as far as being around them?
Oh, it's great. We bond a lot, and I mean, we're involved in a lot of the same things, and we're all home right now, and so we get to spend a lot of time together and do quality things together.
So in those quality things, so like board games, competition around the household. Do you guys really get into that and show no mercy?
Yes, we do. We play quite a bit of board games. We love Monopoly. Monopoly's a good one. That one gets a little vicious. We play some card games, stuff like that, or we'll get out a pickleball set and some ping pong. They get a little crazy sometimes, but it's fun.
Okay. So who usually wins?
I'd like to say me, but it really just depends on the day.
Okay. All right. That was a good answer. That was a safe, good answer. Good job. Keep the peace. You're doing good. All right, Josie, we got one more question before we go to our break here, real quick. But one other thing that you've worked really hard at has been your education. What do you appreciate most about attending Russellville High School?
Well, one of the big things I really like is student athletes. They make sure that the student comes first, and so they're always checking our grades, making sure we're staying on top of grades and things like that. And if you don't have the grades, you can't play, and that's just how it goes, which I really appreciate because it makes sure I stay on top of my schoolwork. And then also that we have some amazing teachers, and they really do care about the kids. And even if it's not school related, you can still go for them to help. And they get to really know you on a personal level, and you can always just go talk to them about pretty much anything.
It's good to have that support, and you guys have a great group of people there. I want to get into that a little bit more when we get to talking about Coach Branson, but just from everything that I've observed, you got a lot of really good people coming together trying to make your school experience a great one.
Yes, we've got a great community in school.
All right, good. Well, we are going to take our quick sponsor break and we will be right back. You've done an outstanding job, lots of good stuff. And so far, I've not thrown any zingers at you. We're going to save that for the end for the speed round, if that's okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back.
Not everybody is an 8 to 5 Monday through Friday type. At CNS, we have employment options for the way you want to work with our flexible scheduling program. Flexible scheduling is designed to fit your lifestyle and allows you to be in control of your schedule. CNS offers insurance plans upon employment. Celebrating 45 years of staffing, CNS Business Services.
Say yes to CNS.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
All right, Josie, it's great to have sponsors, people that support this program. And so we really appreciate CNS Business Services and the Missouri Army National Guard. Without them, we couldn't be doing this program, bringing on awesome people like you. And so we really appreciate them. But we've appreciated you joining us tonight, taking a little bit of time out. And I know you've been really busy with everything that's been going on. Trying to decompress. You got people calling you. You probably got autographs that you're having to sign, and I mean, all sorts of stuff. I don't know. I wanted to get back a little bit about the atmosphere at school. Just kind of again that support. I noticed that a lot of the teachers and the staff and a lot of people, they have a lot of different hats that they wear. What impresses you about that?
It's just the amount of they already have to do as teachers, because both my parents are teachers, and the all the grading and the lesson planning, and they have to do it takes a lot of time. But then the fact that they can also still get out and support, some of them even made it all the way up down to our game in Springfield, and I know that's a long drive, and the fact that they took time out of their day to do that, or I know some of them bought the subscription and watched online, and that really means a lot that they're trying their best to be there and watch and support.
Well, that Friday was quite a big day. I mean, you guys had that going on, and then of course at school they were hosting their district playoff game, right?
Yes, they were.
Yeah, and so I mean that was a big day. Everybody was split, going everywhere. I know Coach Branson was down with you guys, and he was still trying to control things up there and all that.
Yes.
So he's a pretty special man. Why don't you tell us a little bit about him and how he's impacted you?
Oh, he's had a huge impact. I was around him a little bit before because he, of course, was baseball coach first, and my older brother Mason had him for all 4 years. And it's funny because as soon as he left, Branson took over the head softball coach job, and I came in as a freshman. So one Stewart left for another one to move in. So I knew a little bit of what we were getting into, and he brings a lot to the table in a lot of different aspects. He's a really great coach and knows how to make a team work.
Well, and he does a lot too. You talked about he has his son that he's going to take him around tonight too. But I know there was a time that I know he was like driving a bus. I've seen him out there doing the ball fields, cutting the grass. I mean, the man is everywhere. He's over making sure people are lifting weights the proper way. I mean, there's just a lot. And athletic director. I mean,
Yes.
goodness.
Athletic director, bus driver, softball coach, baseball coach. It's a lot.
Yeah, I
He
wonder what
does a
he's.
great job of it.
I wonder what he's cooking for dinner. Come on, let's get busy.
Yes.
Uh, So what are some of those life lessons that maybe you've learned from him? I mean, we can take things that we learn in sport and we can apply them in life. What are some of those types of things that he's taught you?
Some of the big ones were this year we really focused on trusting the process. So you have to work on those baby steps before you can really work on the big ones, and that's a huge thing. It's all over life too. You can't skip over the small things and make sure it all works out good. And then another one was, oh, even if we'll have a bad practice or a bad game or something like that, it's always the sun will be up tomorrow. That's how it goes. You have a bad day, but you'll redo tomorrow. And that's a good one. And then another one, he's really a good confidence builder.
That's good. It's important to know that you've got somebody that's encouraging you as well as challenging you to be the best that you can be.
Yes, he and Coach Volkart, they always say they're our biggest fans no matter what.
Very good. I was going to ask you, so tell us a little bit about some of the assistant coaches.
Yeah, we have Coach Volkart. She's absolutely amazing. It's funny because they almost play like a good cop, bad cop. It just depends on the day which one's which. And they're doing their best to make sure that we do our best. And that means a lot. And they're both parents, and so they have to balance all that in there and just how much time they spend in putting into us and everything. It really means a lot, making sure they're setting us up best so where we can play our best and succeed as best as we can.
So I got to know if you can give us an example. You might not be able to, but the good cop, bad cop routine. How do they go about that? What do they do?
it, Sometimes one of them they won't be frustrated. I mean, we're outside anyway, so we'll have to yell, or we won't be quite as focused as we need to be. And so one of them may get on to us a little bit because we need it and we need to get back to where we need to be. And then the other one will be like, okay, now let's get back to work.
Very good. They know what they're doing. They've got you guys set up right, right?
Yes, taken care of.
Very good. Uh, I want to ask you about your teammates because that's an important part of, getting out on the ball field. It's not just about you, but you have some pretty special teammates. Looking back, what are some of your favorite moments with them?
Oh, so I mean, obviously going to the Final Four, that one was a huge one because it's almost a 3-hour drive down there. So it's a lot of bus time we get to spend together, and that gets fun. And then spending the night at the hotel and really having good quality time together, going out to dinner. We like to have our team dinners. It's a good time to spend together and really bond, which makes us play even better out on the field. Is in some of the funniest times we've had quite a few teammates fall over fences in the outfield. That one's a good one. We've had some good slides that didn't quite turn out as they were planning. We've had some funny hits.
Okay. Speaking of slides, have my worst one I ever did, and this was just playing softball, um, sliding into second base head first. The ground was tacky, and I stuck, and my legs went back up over the top of my head and hit the ground. Now, at the age that I was at that time, that did not feel good. That did not feel good at all. And I'm sure that if somebody would have had the camera on, it would have looked hilarious, but it was not funny. My body,
Almost a scorpion.
yeah, it was. I was not meant to bend that way, so I recommend not doing that when the ground's tacky. Uh, so, what was one of your most embarrassing moments out on the ball field?
Oh goodness, I've had quite a few. Probably the most recent one. My teammates never let me forget this one. They think it's the funniest. We had an away game this last season that we just finished with, and there was a base hit to the outfield, and there was a runner on, and so they threw the ball in, and the girl was coming around for a double, and the other one was going to score, and I went to arm fake, and I arm faked too hard, and the ball just went straight into the ground. Yep, they thought that was the funniest thing.
Yeah, stuff like that happens. Stuff like that happens. You've probably seen somebody run and trip over first base. You've probably seen it all.
Yeah, happens to
Yeah,
everybody.
that's right. It does. Um, you know, Softball is not the only thing that you do. Tell us about other sports that you're involved in, and why do you keep yourself so busy?
Yeah, I also do track, and so I run some short sprints with those, mainly relays, 4x1, 4x2. My main event though is discus, and that one's a lot of fun because it brings in the individual aspect with the sprints, and with softball you've got that team aspect, which is great. I love that. But then with discus, it's you just rely on yourself, and you have to really put in that extra work because there are no backups. It's up to you to muscle memory and practice, and it's a lot of fun because I love the from softball team to track team. There's two different atmospheres. It's just a lot of fun to hang out with those people, and it's I like to stay busy. I like to have things to do. It keeps me in shape too, which is great.
Yeah, so when are you going to start training for track now that you're done with softball?
Well, softball's off. I'm gonna give my body a little bit of a break probably this week, but next week, the week after, I'll probably start lifting again, doing sort of that stuff. We do an after school weights program I'll probably get back into, and then I'll hopefully start doing some lessons and practice for discus by the time December rolls around.
Okay. What are some of your goals going into this senior year as far as in track?
I mean, I want to set a new PR. That'd be nice. And it's just really focusing on that form and getting it as nice and smooth as it can possibly be. And really focusing on the small things that I couldn't quite get down last year. And maybe we'll be back at state again.
All right. It's it's always good to be there, isn't it?
Yes, it's a great feeling.
Awesome. Uh, one of the other things I want to ask you too is what do you tell younger players? Um, how do you get them to focus on being successful on the ball field?
One of the big things, it was my biggest problem, is just not caring about what others think. You're not out there for them. You're out there for your teammates and yourself, and you're just remembering that it's a game and you're out there to have fun and try your best and work hard. You can't cut corners. It's going to show. And just get out there and have fun.
That's great advice, and I believe that you probably had a lot of fun when you were playing.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Very good. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what some of your future plans are as far as your education and maybe if you can go and play either softball or compete in track, are those things in the picture?
Yes, they are. I'm going to continue my education and softball career at Lincoln next year. It's really exciting. I'm going to sign with them soon. Um, I'll be playing softball for Coach Allison. I really like him. And then I might also have the chance to throw a little bit more too, which would be great. And I plan on majoring in kinesiology.
Tell people about what kinesiology is. It's an
It's a lot of
important part.
muscle movement. Yes, things like that. Keeps you safe and how you can stretch and rebuild those from injuries, stuff like that.
And you mentioned Lincoln. I mean, Lincoln's pulling in some of you student athletes from around here in mid-Missouri. I think Ella Percival, is she going to be attending there too?
Yes, she is. I'm excited to get to play with her. We've played
Yeah.
together before, but it's mostly just been against each other. But I like when we get to be on the same team.
Yeah. You have any other people that are coming to play that you're excited about?
Yeah, I'm excited. Maris Allison, she's already there. I got to play with her a little bit last summer. And then there's a couple other girls I got to play with. I think Kiara O'Rourke might be heading that way. I
Hmm.
really like playing with them.
Okay. One thing we did not talk about, and I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk about this, is the third place game at state. Who did you play, and how special was that?
We played Eugene, which was is a big deal because they're big school rivalries. And earlier in the season, they were our very last game before postseason play, and they actually got us in that one. And it was funny. I mean, we were of course a little bit mad because we didn't play how we should have, and we were saying, if we see them later, they can have this game. We'll take the next one. And so that felt really good to get them in that third place game.
Yeah. What an amazing thing though too to have two of our teams so close right here in mid-Missouri competing in the state tournament. I mean the top four. You guys both made it there and you happened to get that win. That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah, that
Outs
show me confidence. We're tough.
yeah, that's outstanding. You know, Josie, we have gone through all the questions. You've done so well, but now we get to go to the fun part, and we're gonna talk. Well, the other parts have been fun, but this, who knows what I'm gonna ask? I'm just gonna be making this up off the cuff.
Okay.
So, we're gonna call this our speed round. It's just something that you can just give, short answers. You can add a little bit more if you want to, but we really want to know some of these things. And you mentioned a little while ago about you enjoy those team dinners. What is your favorite go-to snack after a game?
So one of my absolute favorite is at home games. We do barbecue pulled pork nachos. My absolute all-time favorite.
What do you put on those?
So they got the tortilla chips, you got your nacho cheese, and then they smoke the pork that day, so it's amazing. And then barbecue sauce. And it's funny because we have a little team group chat, and instead of guess what day it is, game day,
Uh-huh.
it's barbecue pulled pork nacho day.
All right, there you go. Okay, so what are two food combinations that really are kind of, you would think that's not a good food to put together, but you really like it, mixing those two together?
So one of them is actually bacon and cupcakes. It's a weird one, but these maple bacon cupcakes, they're amazing. They're my favorite.
That is, I would never have thought of putting bacon with a cupcake. I know a lot of people like bacon with everything, but I would have not thought about a
Yeah,
cupcake.
it's yes, it goes with everything.
Okay, I'll have to tell Jay about that because I know he likes bacon, and I'm pretty sure he likes cupcakes, so he might need to try that combination. Okay,
You'll
we
have to
want to.
look up the recipe.
That's right. That's right. He will, and he'll probably ask my daughter to make them, and she'll be like, "What are you talking about? Why would you do that?" But anyway, we will tell them that Josie said it's very good. All right. Hey, Josie, real quick. Coach B, what was one of those funny sayings that he would always say to you guys that would just kind of give you a chuckle?
Oh, there's quite a few.
Well, we'll take as many as you want to
Um,
give.
One of them is if you're so you always have to be moving, and then, like, at practice, if you're not in your quite right backup position, one of them is buy a ticket if you're not to go watch from the stands if you're not. And then, oh, another one of our outfielders, we were playing catch or whatever, and they weren't quite great throws, and so is Aaron a monkey? Because they were throwing them at our feet, not our hands.
All right, those are good. And I'm just hearing his voice in my head too, saying those. So that's pretty cool.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so if you were to describe yourself as a superhero, which one would you be? What superhero
Oh
powers do you
man,
possess?
that's a tough one. I don't know if I possess those powers, but probably like Hawkeye or Black Widow because they're quiet, but they're always there. They're kind of in the background.
Quiet but deadly. Yeah.
Sure.
So that's what you're saying. You're on the softball field. You're quiet but deadly. All right.
Yes.
We'll take that. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, what Disney princess would you most resemble?
Oh, I'd probably say Cinderella. She's pretty cool.
All right. Nope. They're like, what's the turning into pumpkin and stuff? What's all that?
I mean, that's pretty cool, but the glass slippers, I do love shoes. So the
Okay.
glass slippers are pretty high up there.
All right. Very good. This is the last one, I promise. Okay. This one. What what wild animal? What is the biggest wild animal you think you could take down without any weapons
Oh man. Um,
or outrun?
oh, outrun. I was gonna say I could probably take down a deer. Definitely not outrun them, but maybe if I got a little football tackle in me, I could maybe take one down.
Very good. Uh, Not one with antlers. I wouldn't recommend that. Go for the
Oh,
doe.
nope. Yes.
All right, Josie, you have done an outstanding job. This has been a lot of fun. Again, Thank you so much. Congratulations on your third place finish at state. We're excited for what's ahead for you. And it's really cool that you're going to be right here in mid Missouri playing softball at Lincoln University. That's going to be pretty amazing. Going to be good to have you around there. And one other thing we're going to do is we're going to close out the program, but I want to give you one more opportunity. Anything else that you want to add or anything that you want to say to the fans from Russellville or people that have supported you?
Just thank you for everything. It really means a lot having everyone behind us. The community's great about supporting and getting out there and making sure that we know they're there. It just wouldn't be the same without them.
Well, as always, you're a great leader, and you gave a great speech to them, thanking them right there. That's good. Uh, Thank you again. If you will hold on here while we close out the program, then I'll visit with you really briefly afterwards so you can get back to eating those Reese's peanut butter cups, okay?
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back with you. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight on One Nation of Sports Locker Magazine Extra. We had Josie Stewart of Russellville High School. The Lady Indian softball team finished third place in state championships this year. What an outstanding job with the Lady Indians and Coach B and Coach Bolkart. They did an outstanding job representing Mid Missouri. I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. And next week, we will have another program with another exciting guest. So make sure that you stay tuned in. Thank you guys for all your support. And this is your host, Kirk DeMars, with One Nation, a Sports Locker Magazine Extra. God bless you, and we'll see you next week.